Hello, Potterheads! Let's talk about a fan-made story of Gilderoy Lockhart, entitled Gilderoy Lockhart and the Brotherhood of Darkness. Let's go! Gilderoy Lockhart was, by his own account, a man of unparalleled genius, and his ego was a fortress built of shimmering accolades. Yet, beneath the veneer of perfectly coiffed hair and dazzling smiles, he possessed a talent for survival that bordered on beyond what is normal. When the Ministry of Magic finally took seriously the threat of the Brotherhood of Darkness, an ancient global cabal of wizards dedicated to rewriting magical law with blood and shadow, they found themselves stuck with a problem. Their auras were too recognizable, their methods too blunt. What they needed was a wizard who could infiltrate the most secure fortress, charm the most hardened Dark Lords, and emerge with a neatly bound confession. They needed a man with nothing to lose but his reputation and everything to gain. They needed Gilderoy Lockhart, the best there is. His mission was a masterpiece of misdirection, a grand theatrical production with the world as his stage. Lockhart's first task was to orchestrate his own downfall. He publicly failed a simple transfiguration spell, then another, and another, each failure more spectacular and embarrassing than the last. He became a laughingstock, his book sales plummeting, his fan mail replaced with letters of derision. The Brotherhood, ever on the lookout for disillusioned and powerful wizards, saw a golden opportunity. They saw a man who had been cast out by the very society he had once championed. They saw a man ripe for recruitment. His partner in this grand charade was Buskanovich, a diminutive wizard of Russian descent with the uncanny ability to become utterly forgettable. Buskanovich was the quiet architect behind Lockhart's loud performance. The man who planted the misinformation, forged the letters of outrage, and subtly nudged the Brotherhood's scouts in Lockhart's direction. While Lockhart was busy signing autographs for an ever-dwindling fan base, Buskanovich was working in the shadows, creating a legend of a different kind, a legend of a powerful wizard betrayed, seeking vengeance. The Brotherhood's invitation arrived in a sealed envelope, a simple sigil etched in the wax. Lockhart, with a practiced gasp of feigned outrage, crumpled the paper and tossed it into a fireplace, only to retrieve it moments later. He made sure to be seen accepting a second, more urgent invitation. The ruse was working. He was to meet their emissary in a seedy back alley in Nocturne Alley, the air thick with the scent of forbidden magic and stale ale. He arrived late. Of course, a calculated move to show a lack of eagerness. The emissary, a gaunt wizard named Kellis, with eyes like chips of obsidian, was not impressed. He tested Lockhart, demanding he perform a spell of destructive power, a curse that would violate every known magical tenet. Lockhart, in a stroke of sheer audacity, struggled with the spell before accidentally unleashing a wave of light so powerful it momentarily blinded the emissary. It was a simple Lumos Maxima, amped up and carefully contained by a powerful, albeit invisible, spell from Buskanovich, who was hiding on a rooftop, acting as the real muscle of the operation. Kellis, mistaking the display for a unique and devastating form of dark magic, was convinced. Lockhart was inducted into the Brotherhood with a chilling ritual in an ancient catacomb, beneath a long-abandoned Parisian opera house. The air was thick with dark magic, and the members, robed in black, wore ornate silver masks. He was told their plan: to disrupt the upcoming International Confederation of Wizards Conference by unleashing a series of powerful, disorienting curses. The goal was to sow chaos and force the magical world to its knees, allowing the Brotherhood to seize control. The plan was audacious, and for Lockhart, it was the final piece of the puzzle. Buskanovich, using a network of magical pigeons, had already sent messages to the ministry, confirming the location and the time of the meeting. Now, with the details of the attack in hand, he began his own preparations. While Lockhart was charming the Brotherhood's inner circle with tales of his glorious past and misunderstood talents, Buskanovich was working on the real masterstroke. A massive area of effect disillusionment charm. It was a spell so complex it had only ever been theorized, and it was the key to their plan. The day of the conference arrived. Lockhart, now a trusted member, was given the task of securing the main ballroom. His charming smile a perfect mask for the tension roiling within him. The Brotherhood's key members, believing Lockhart to be a harmless showman, left him alone to secure the room. This was his moment. With a silent nod from across the room, Boscanovich cast a disillusionment charm. The effect was immediate and breathtaking. The entire ballroom, filled with the most powerful wizards in the world, was rendered completely invisible to the dark wizards lurking outside. The Brotherhood's attack began, but their spells, intended to hit the assembled dignitaries, simply passed through the empty space where the ballroom was supposed to be. Confusion erupted. The dark wizards, believing their spells had failed, began arguing amongst themselves. This was the moment Boscanovich had been waiting for. He uncloaked the ballroom, revealing the stunned and Nauer wizards inside, who were already prepared for the attack. In the ensuing chaos, Lockhart, using his legendary bluffs and a few well-placed stupefy curses, managed to disarm the two most powerful dark wizards. The rest of the Brotherhood, caught completely off guard and facing the full force of the world's most powerful aurors and wizards, had no choice but to surrender. As the dark wizards were led away in magical restraints, Kellis looked at Lockhart, a flicker of understanding in his dark eyes. He saw not a bumbling fool, but a master manipulator, a theatrical genius who had played them all for fools. The Ministry, of course, was ecstatic. The Brotherhood of Darkness, a threat that had plagued them for centuries, was finally neutralized. And they had Gilderoy Lockhart to thank for it. But Lockhart, true to form, refused to take all the credit. He stood before the press, his golden hair a halo in the morning sun, and gave a long-winded but surprisingly humble speech. It was not I who captured them, but the courage of a good man. His name is, well, I've forgotten it. But his spirit was as bright as 1,000 suns. Boscanovich, watching from the crowd, simply smiled. The true heroes, he knew, were rarely the ones who took a bow. And as the story of Lockhart's triumph was immortalized in a new book, a new legend was born not of a brave and charming wizard, but of a man who, in the face of true darkness, chose to play a fool, and in doing so, became a true hero. Do you still question Gilderoy Lockhart's heroism? Kindly comment and subscribe.